Hey guys, welcome back. I am going to talk today about fragrances. Today is one of those seasonal videos that I bring to you every change of season when I do make my seasonal fragrance picks. I usually do rotate through my fragrances, and I use whatever I feel like using, obviously. But I really enjoy fragrances that really remind me of spring, and I would like to share those with you. And these are my personal picks for the coming season. Let me know down below if you know of any of these fragrances. Also, usually if you know my channel, you know that I go into detail into each fragrance which I review or talk about. Unfortunately, these kinds of fragrances where I'm, in this case, talking about 6 separate perfumes in one video, it's not possible. However, some of these already have reviews up on my channel, and some of these will shortly have reviews up in my channel, so stay tuned. Let's start with Carven Le Parfum. This guy is really a relatively new addition to my collection. I purchased it for this spring. It's not a new release, however. I've been walking around in circles around this fragrance, trying it and testing it and wearing it and not being sure whether I like it or not. Finally, I did splurge for the full bottle, and this is the 15 ml. First of all, let's talk about presentation. Presentation is flawless. What a beautiful little bottle. As you can see, I've dented it already. I've been putting a lot of hours of wear into this little guy, and I definitely will be very shortly filming a full-fledged review. I'll be ready to talk about it very soon. I love the packaging. I love the presentation. I love what they do with the bottle, and I like the marketing as well. Now, I have to say, this fragrance is not going to be for everybody. And what I mean by that is this perfume is pretty sweet. It's a very sweet floral scent. If you do like sweet scents and you want to experiment with florals, I will steer you towards this, because this is an elegant way to do a sweet floral. If I had a customer in mind, I would say if you are a fan of the original My Burberry Eau de Parfum, which I own and I have talked about ad nauseum last fall, this is a spring version of that kind of a scent. Obviously, they're not dupes for each other, but they do remind me of each other quite a bit. It's the same style of fragrance. This is a very spring, lighter version of it. There's less sweetness, maybe a little bit less vanilla in the base. But it's also a sweet pea scent, very heavily accented sweet pea, and it is this really innocent, sweet floral garden scent, dewy, slightly moist, so to say. I know some people hate that word, but it's a really nice fragrance. I think it's quite elegantly done. It's a highbrow sweet floral, and I would recommend you test it out if that's the kind of fragrance you're looking for. So this fulfills and ticks those check boxes. Next one is Guerlain Idylle. Again, this is an eau de toilette, so beautiful. The packaging again is flawless. You have this teardrop. It's gorgeous. There's like a little logo in the front. The packaging is really nice, I have to say. And this fragrance is, if you think of a very elegant floral, timeless elegant floral, general timeless elegant floral, it's this one. There are some watery flowers, there's some jasmine, there's some pure sophistication, actually. Oddly, although sometimes, you know, this might smell like a fairly general reference to an elegant floral, I think that's the beauty of it. It's a very sophisticated scent. It's a womanly scent. It's a wearable fragrance that you can definitely wear all of spring, no trouble, any occasion. And for lovers of classic florals, this is going to be your jam. This is very nice. I love wearing this guy, and this is my second bottle of it in my lifetime. Not, you know, I don't repurchase this frequently and use it on everyday basis, but this tells you that I felt strongly enough about it to be able to repurchase it and justify it for myself, taking into account the size of my collection. But I've dented it slightly already, and you can see that you can bank on the fact that I'll be wearing it this spring, and definitely will film a separate video on it. Now, for the lovers of a more modern take on fragrances, we have a couple of florals. Again, florals is what I think when I think spring. Let's talk about Narciso Rodriguez. And I have two perfect specimens of a floral representation of what they can do with a fragrance. And it's, I mean, they do flawless floral musks. That's what they do. This one I got last spring. So this is actually the second spring I'll be pulling for the scent. And this is Fleur Musc by Narciso Rodriguez. As always, the packaging is perfection in my opinion, and for me it is important. So a good scent is a good scent, and I will put up with a sample of a really great scent, but I will want that bottle to be fantastic. I want all my fragrance bottles to be fantastic. It better look fly. And this one does. This one just is straight up my alley. What a beautiful contrast between this angular architectural bottle and the feminine, rosy, beautiful scent inside. Now, I will say that there is a strong base of musk in every Narciso Rodriguez fragrance you can think of. That's what their signature is, and I love it, and I never want them to change. I want them to continue making fantastic musk fragrances. This one has a juicy rose with it. Spring, just juicy, banged up petals. It's in here. I would say it's late spring fragrance rather than early spring fragrance. And if you know David Yurman, and I've raved about that fragrance last year, I will be repurchasing it probably this year in 2018 at some point. It's not that easy to find, but I really like the scent. So I figured out that this rose reminds me very much of David Yurman's rose. And the fragrances, Fleur Musc by Narciso Rodriguez and the David Yurman are kind of sister fragrances. They're not identical, they're not super similar, but they are cousins. They're not sisters or twins, but they're cousins, and they are talking about the same exact thing. And they both have this juicy, fleshy rose in it, and in them both. And this one is just absolutely gorgeous. So I think I might wait to repurchase David Yurman after this one's done. Although I can't promise, because I have no self-control when it comes to fragrances. And next one is Narciso Eau de Toilette, also from Narciso Rodriguez. Again, architectural, heavy, beautiful packaging. This is what I like. Just make this and I will be happy. And this one is a little bit more abstract, a little bit less literal with the florals. There's a little bit of nuttiness in it, and this beautiful musk that they always have, and some abstract florals. This is light and airy and beautiful, and very modern. This scent is quite modern. I would say Narciso Rodriguez Fleur Musc is really quite modern as well. Both of them are very current fragrances, but this one is like a classic modern, and this is really quite cool modern. I think an edgy girl could wear this, although it's still very feminine and very beautiful and fantastically crafted. But I think you could get away with this if you're like an androgynous, cool or edgy person, which sometimes I aspire to be, and this makes me feel amazing every time I wear it. And I have to say, very wearable. You can wear it anywhere. It is a workhorse of a scent. What a gorgeous scent. Totally recommend. So a little bit different here. Now, a fragrance that it will appeal to people who love Chanel, and this I'm not including necessarily because it's my absolute perfect fragrance or personal favorite. I am including it because I think a lot of people will like it. Really, I was kind of talked into buying this and talking about it more by my subscribers. Thanks, guys. I was walking in circles around this fragrance really for a while, and I wasn't quite as impressed as I like to be when I purchase a full-size bottle. And this is No5 L'Eau by Chanel. This is their most recent release, and I think it's very wearable, aldehydic, lemony, sweet scent. Why I am not a huge fan of this is because I am a huge fan of Eau Première and the Eau de Toilette, and I own both of those and I love both of those, and I just felt like this was a stripped down version of those scents, because it's definitely a number 5 for sure. This belongs in the lineup. I understand that it does. It smells like it does. but it is not as complex, not as sophisticated, does not require any work on part of your brain or nose to decode or understand the fragrance. This is just basically everything that is pleasant about number 5. None of the sophistication, everything that's pleasant about it packaged into the bottle. So the aldehydes are here, some nondescript white florals are here, some lemon and some sweetness. And it's a fizzy goodness. I like it. I don't dislike the fragrance. I just know where number 5 is coming from. And I think this is good to capture a new market, because people who kind of turn their nose up at old classics, and not so old classics, because our Premiere is really not that old at all compared to some of the other Chanels. I mean, this is not my favorite. I don't think this is a masterpiece, but I think it's a very nice, pleasant, cute scent, and I think it's appropriate for spring, and I think a lot of people will like it, which is why I'm including it here. And I will wear it, and I will finish the bottle no problem, because it is a nice scent. It's nice. It's nice. No match for Narciso, mind you, but it is very, very nice. If I could steer you a little bit to the left, I would say go with the Au Premiere if you can get your hands on the tall old bottle, and that's what I have. The new version is just not quite the same, but still, if I could point you towards a Chanel fragrance, within the number 5 range, if you are old school and love a vintage vibe, go for the Eau de Toilette, my personal favorite. However, I oscillate between that and Au Premiere, because I think Au Premiere is actually really gorgeous. So I think what they're trying to do here was already done in Au Premiere. They just maybe had to like re-promote it or relaunch it or something. They don't really need to come out with a Le with a weaker staying power, although it's still very decent. It's an Eau de Toilette, it's a decent staying power. I can't fault the scent. I think it's a nice scent. So I would suggest you check it out, actually. And the last one is an unexpected twist. And this is not something that a lot of people will have on hand, but I did want to mention it. And this is Muguet Porcelain, and this is by Hermes. I have Eau de Toilette, 100 ml. Went for the big guy, big bottle. This is basically a fresh scent of melon and very, very fresh green spring florals. It's such a refreshing, just breath of spring of a scent. And if you like those early spring florals with a fruity twist, I think this is a really, really nice one. I think this is an Eau de Toilette that is extremely easy to wear and will lean into the body splash territory, but like the most luxurious kind you can think of, because it's Hermes. But what we're talking about here really is this extremely fresh, refreshing scent that is not it's not a perfume scent. You know what I mean? People might not recognize you're wearing a perfume. They might think you're wearing some kind of body splash, or maybe a shampoo, or something very juicy, very natural smelling. So this is an epitome of spring for me, but it is not a fragrance. For me, this is a light version of what you could wear for a fragrance. Nice, juicy, springy, fresh melon. You can just almost taste the melon when you're smelling this. So I think this is a very cute choice. But again, I don't think it's for everybody. So depending on what kind of person you are, I gave you quite a lot of choices, quite a lot of options to think about, and all of them reflect kind of different personalities or different personas that you might want to take on during the day. You know that I pick a fragrance according to what I'm going to be doing that day and how I feel. So I hope it was fun for you to watch. Let me know if you have used any of these guys, or if you have specific spring fragrances that you are absolutely nuts over and you want me to know about, because I want to hear about them. That's it for today. See you guys later. Have a good day. Bye bye.